our channel. This is a series called Write Well with Maxxcell, where we discuss the writing section of IELTS exam in detail. So far, we have looked at the judging criteria, which is known as writing band descriptors. We have also looked at task 1 for IELTS General, which is letter writing, and task 1, which is report writing for IELTS Academic. We have also covered essay writing, and now we are doing each type of essay. Today we are going to be discussing the problem solution essay. Without further ado, let's begin. First, let us understand how to structure the essay. Now, in case of any essay for IELTS, you need to have an introduction and a conclusion. But in between, for any essay for IELTS exam, you need to have 3 components. And those are the introduction, the body paragraphs, and you need to have the conclusion. Now, the introduction has to have 2 things. That is, you need to have the paraphrased question statement, and you also need to have the thesis statement. Now, if you don't know what this is, you can check out our previous video. We have covered this in detail. Now, coming to the body paragraphs. In case of a problem solution essay, you need to have a minimum of 2 paragraphs. And what are these paragraphs? One paragraph should be dedicated to the problems, and the other paragraph should be dedicated to the solutions. At the end, you need to have a conclusion. Now, let us look at the example question that we have taken for today's video. And here it goes. Natural resources such as oil and forests are being consumed at an alarming rate around the world. What problems does this cause, and how can we solve these problems? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Now, you need to have all these in the essay. So, you need to have some examples. You also need to discuss both the problems and the solutions. Now, let's plan this particular essay, and how are we going to do that? The plan has to be brief and to the point, and make sure you are making the plan. This is a step that is very, very important when it comes to essay writing. If you do not plan your essay, you will be struggling to write, which is not a good thing, because there are a lot of things that you need to keep in mind which will meet the judging criteria. For example, you need to have really good words, that is uncommon words, which will give you a good score for lexical resource, which is nothing but vocabulary. And the other thing you also need to keep in mind is grammatical range. You can only focus on such things when you know what points you're going to write in your essay before you even start writing your essay. Now, in case of this particular question type that we have just looked at, now in case of this example essay, how are we going to plan it? Now, we need to have body paragraph 1, which is dedicated to the problems, and we need to have body paragraph 2, which is completely dedicated to the solutions. Now, the 2 things that are mentioned in this question, as you can see, is oil and forests. So, we are again going to discuss these 2 problems in detail. And here you can see oil resources are decreasing. So, this is the problem that we have been encountered. And what does this result in? It results in economic instability. Like, as we know, if any country that is rich in oil resources undergoes any kind of war or revolution or any turmoil, then automatically the rest of the world experiences some kind of instability, and we see that, okay, the stock markets go up and down, and there's a lot of chaos. Now, coming to the next part, that is deforestation. Okay, the deforestation or loss of forests. Okay, what does this cause? It causes a loss of ecosystems. Another word that you can use here is biodiversity. It also results in global warming. As we have studied in school, maybe, we know that, global warming increases when there is lack of trees. Okay, so these are the 2 problems that we are going to look at. And coming to the solutions now. The solutions have to be written in such a way that they combat these problems. Right? The one problem is the oil resources being depleting, okay, decreasing. So in that case, how are we going to combat this problem? We are going to combat it by using renewable resources like solar energy, wind energy. All of these things will help us to save the oil resources from being overconsumed. On the other hand, how are we going to On the other hand, how are we going to combat deforestation? We are going to combat deforestation by banning fast fashion, and we are also going to reduce the usage of paper. So these are the two things by which we can combat uh, deforestation. As we know, the reason I put fast fashion here is because lot of the artificial fabrics that we get in the market are plant based actually. So they are made from trees, and just to get a small piece of cloth, it takes so many trees that are cut down. Okay, so this is another problem that is coming up in the recent years, and we know that the world has become more on consumption and materialism. So this is another rising trend, and it is negatively impacting forests and leading to deforestation. So this is our entire plan for the essay. Now let us execute this plan. Before we move on to the essay, let us take the question of the day, which is identify 5 uncommon words from the essay that will help you to obtain a higher score in lexical resource. So as you know, lexical resource is one of the judging criteria. So I need you to identify 5 common words. Grab a piece of paper and a pen, and let's look at the essay. So coming to the introduction, so 2 things that you need to do is paraphrase the question statement and write the thesis statement. Now this is the question statement from the question given to us. So the main statement, the neutral statement, as we know, is the question statement. And it is natural resources such as oil and forests are being consumed at an alarming rate around the world. So how are we going to change this? We need to say the same thing but in different words. So here is what we have done. The rapid consumption of natural resources such as mineral oil and forests is a growing concern worldwide. So here you can see all the words that have been changed. We have also changed the order of the sentence, right? So consumption has come right at the beginning. We have also looked at, we have also changed oil to mineral oil. We have also done this, right? Growing concern worldwide. So this is how you need to paraphrase your question statement. Now moving on, this is the thesis statement. Basically, you need to tell what all you'll be covering in the essay. So here it is. This essay will explore the various problems caused by this misuse of nature and the solutions that can combat these difficulties. So this is the complete introduction for our essay. Moving on, we reach the body paragraph 1, which is dedicated to the problems. So the 2 things, as we have discussed in the plan, that we are going to look at is the oil resources are decreasing, and which leads to economic instability. And the other thing we are going to discuss is deforestation, which leads to loss of ecosystem and global warming. So these are the 3 things we are going to cover in this paragraph. So here we go. The overconsumption of natural resources leads to numerous problems, including, now in general, what does natural resource overconsumption result in? So that is environmental degradation, loss of biodiversity, and increased greenhouse gas emissions. Now all greenhouse gas emissions lead to, again, global warming. So now we come to the main point here that we have come, the first point, that is oil resources and economic instability. So here goes. The depletion of oil reserves heightens the risk of energy crisis and economic instability, which in turn can cause global unrest and loss of life. Now these are the things that, we are showing that, okay, one leads to the other and the other leads to the third thing, which is very, very dangerous, that is loss of life. Now the next point here was deforestation. So how are we going to talk about deforestation? Deforestation, on the other hand, disrupts ecosystems, leading to the extinction of plant and animal species, while also reducing the planet's capacity to absorb carbon dioxide, exacerbating global warming. So this is the complete paragraph 1. Here you can see that we have covered all the points that we had made before, and this has guided our writing here. Correct? So I hope you're also noting down some good words from these. Paragraph 2 is dedicated to the solutions, and the two solutions that we have come up with are renewable resources, and we have taken the other solution as banning fast fashion and reducing paper usage. So let's discuss these problems in this particular paragraph and how we are going to face these problems. To address these problems, a multifaceted approach is necessary. So now, how are we going to start this paragraph? We are starting with a general statement. Then we are going to come to each solution. Firstly, promoting the use of renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydroelectric power can reduce our reliance on oil. For instance, countries like Germany and Denmark have successfully increased their renewable energy usage through supportive policies of the respective governments. In addition to that, to curb the menace of deforestation. Now we are going to the second point here, that is deforestation. How are we going to combat deforestation? The government must discourage practices like fast fashion, right? The other thing was paper, right? So paperless correspondence furthermore must also be encouraged, because more than 20 full-grown trees, for instance, are cut down to obtain 1 ton of paper. Thus, less uses of paper will definitely make a huge contribution to forest conservation efforts. Now, this is the complete solution paragraph where we have covered quite a lot of solutions. But again, these are not just random, they are very related to the problems we discussed in the first paragraph. Make sure your solutions and your problems have some kind of correspondence. It shouldn't be completely divorced from each other. Your problems and solutions have to kind of be like a question answer to each other. And last, we have the conclusion. The conclusion is simply whatever you have discussed in the previous two paragraphs. Do not include any new information. Don't include any examples. It should be a brief summary of everything that you have covered in your body paragraphs. So here we go. In conclusion, the overconsumption of natural resources poses serious environmental and societal challenges. By adopting renewable energy and protecting forests, we can mitigate these problems and work towards a more sustainable future. So this is the conclusion. I hope you have taken down at least 5 good words from these different paragraphs that we have looked at. If not, you have the last chance to do so, because here is the complete essay. You can save this video for future use, because this example might help you when you write your practice problem solution essay. And that is it for today. If you like this video, click the like button and let us know that you did. If you have friends who are preparing for IELTS, consider sharing this video with them. Hope you like this video. See you in the next one. If you're looking for IELTS classes, look no further, because we offer online as well as offline classes where we give you comprehensive material, personalized feedback, and also a test series account with more than 140 tests. For more information, contact us.